your ghost again, but that's not unusual. It's just that the moon is full. You happen to call. Here I sit, hands on the telephone, hearing a voice I'd known a couple of light years ago, and straight for a fall. Hi, I hope everybody is having a very good start to the weekend. I'm super tired because I'm sleeping like horribly. My little one's sleeping really well. He's sleeping, like, he sleeps through the night, but I'm up like every night. I'm up at like 2 a.m. and sometimes I don't get back to sleep. Tonight I was up at 3 a.m. just to make it a little bit different, and I did not get back to sleep. So it has been really like, it's been challenging to like take it. I've been taking it really easy the entire week, to be honest. So today I actually wanted to have a look just for fun and see if I could find, I don't know, maybe like a cool cardigan or a cool like sweater. See if I could find something just a little bit interesting, a little bit different for autumn coming up. I don't know, I just want something like a little bit cool because I don't have any like cool jackets or cool sweaters or anything like that. Everything that I have is like very functional and focused on natural fabric. So I'm just that's one piece, just one that I would like to add to my wardrobe that kind of just brings my personality back again, because again, like in motherhood, this isn't a negative thing, but it's very easy to kind of, like, for me personally, definitely, I changed a lot in so many ways that, like, if you would have known me before, and I think I said this before, but if you would have known me before, you probably wouldn't recognize me now, like, looking at me, because I was, like, really punk, and I had, like, my leather jacket, which I made myself, and it was full of, like, studs everywhere and patches everywhere, and, like, there's no way you'd like recognize me now if you knew me then, in terms of like, because I looked so different. But I just feel like a lot of that part of me has gone away in motherhood. I feel like I'm not saying I'm not edgy, like, but you do feel like you lose your like edginess and your vibe, and I don't know. And so lately I just feel in a little bit of a place where like I want to bring something into my closet that expresses me a little bit, like somehow, rather than just like, as you know, everything that I have is plain and basic, and like I said, and that's because my focus is on natural fabrics, not on fashion as much, even though it is really important to me to look put together and I love fashion. It's very hard to find, I think, fashionable, cool pieces that are not made from basically from plastic. So yeah, it's gonna be like an impossible mission, I'm aware of that, but let's just go see what we find. Let's just go have a little bit of fun, do a little bit of like telling you a little bit more in case you're interested about what I've been writing, but I'm not going to tell you just so much about the novel. I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about some experiences that I've had in life which have been the inspiration behind writing this. So I never like to start my videos with like a massive chat and bore your pants off, but later I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about mom life and the different things that I've kind of been going through with my toddler, in case that they help you, or in case that you've gone through something like that and you can be like, yeah, we did this or we did that. I just love having those kind of conversations about this kind of stuff. So yeah, just things like tantrums, and I wouldn't say he has like massive tantrums per se, but he's like in a really big no phase. Everything's just no, no, no. And yeah, there's like a lot going on. So it's just become a little bit hard to manage at times. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that later. You get to just like enjoy and lay back and enjoy some pretty peaceful countryside scenery, and then yeah, I'll just have a catch up with you afterwards about mom life, and take it easy and hope that you start your weekend off well, just kind of like doing something chill like I am. And yeah, let's go. So let's go see what we can find. You see the cow? we're back. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. It is literally so hard to do anything when you don't sleep. Like, it is so impossible. Like I said, it's really annoying because like my toddler is sleeping through the night, but I'm not. So it's very hard, very, very hard. And it's frustrating because you spend like so much of your baby's life not sleeping, and then they sleep and then you don't sleep. So it's like, I waited for this moment so that I could sleep again, and then now I can't sleep. So yeah, that's it's challenging, but I'm so exhausted. So yeah, let me start by telling you a little bit of fun, which is like some of the stuff that's been inspiring my writing lately. So as I shared in my previous video, I started writing a novel. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into all the details of it now and stuff, but like just to share like a couple of facts about it, I guess, of like what inspires some of the story. And it was basically just basically like a guy that I knew, that I dated, and he was in a quite successful band. You wouldn't know them or anything like that, and even if people did know them, I wouldn't say what it was. But it was an incredible experience, and he is someone that I've known since I was like, I met him when I was like, oh my gosh, I was like a baby. I was like 15 or 16 years old, so I was like a baby, and I was like really into glam rock at the time. So I remember like I walked in with my tight black skinny jeans and like my glam rock boots, and I think I just had like a black tank top on, like just showing that figure. And I only walked in there because I had walked by the CD shop where he worked, so he worked there part-time when I met him. And I'd walked by there and I'd seen him in there, and he had like tattoos and he was really cool, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to this guy. So basically I just like walked in and went to like the glam rock section, and I was like, I have all these CDs, like I don't actually need anything in here, but I knew that he was gonna come over, and he came right over, and we just hit it off from there. So I literally met him when I was a little girl. I was 15 years old. So that is 20 years ago that I've known this man, and we still talk. And although the relationship obviously the relationship is over, but what I'm trying to say is like the friendship, we had friendship for a long time, even though we liked each other. It was just friendship because there was a lot of like logistical issues, like when I lived somewhere, he lived somewhere else, and then yeah, like our whole relationship history is very interesting, to say the least, and also complicated, and there's a lot going on, and there's like band dynamics, and then there's his touring stuff, and then there was the stuff between us, and then there was the fact that I moved around a lot, and there was the fact that he moved around a lot. He didn't move that much, but it seemed to work out that when I was back in the city that he was living in, then he had moved somewhere else, and he came to visit me in different cities that I was in at the time in the world living, and he went to those different places. So because this is such, in my opinion, I think it's quite an interesting story. It's very romantic, but very cool. Like, I'm really glad to have lived that experience. And he, like I said, we still talk, but we used to talk up until about 2 or 3 years ago, really regular, like I wouldn't say like regularly, like every week, but regularly, and we were close. Like, even though now we're friends, he knows that I'm married, and it's different, even though like, because when you know someone for so long and they were like your first love kind of thing, it's that kind of thing where like it just doesn't really, the connection is always there. So we've always like stayed close, we've always stayed talking, but eventually everything kind of like just at different instances deteriorated for different reasons. First it was because I had some concerns about stuff, and then yeah, it was just like there's a lot going on. So, but lately, unfortunately, the relationship has just deteriorated because I've tried to stay in touch occasionally, but then I've also found that I've had to distance myself from the entire friendship, ultimately, the entire relationship, so to speak. Ultimately, because I know it feels strange to say this, but it's kind of like really painful to be in touch with him, to think about him, to whatever, to remember him and stuff like that, because it reminds me of all these really nice times. and it's kind of like, it's really hard. It's very like melancholy, but it also, I think it's also hard because like part of me would really like to still be his friend and see him and just like be his friend without any like drama. Photos used to come up obviously on my feed and stuff, and it was just like girl, 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 and like, you know, it's just like, it's a lot, like it's just a lot. But sometimes like then and this like a year will go by and we don't talk, and then I'm like, but I really miss him. Like I really, really miss him, and I'd really love him to be a part of my life. But so it's really hard. It's like a constant, really difficult thing to deal with. And like I said, I think it's because it's someone that you've known for such, I mean, at 20 years is a very long time to have a close friendship relationship with someone. Like it wasn't like a, you know, so I think that's a very long part of your life, especially when you meet someone as a kid. So they're an important part of your life. They're not just kind of like, usually they don't just kind of like go away. So yeah, I mean, there's another person that's like, he's totally just my friend, like, and I was actually best friends with his girlfriend. It's like a little bit similar in that way, where it's very hard. We don't speak anymore. We haven't spoken for like probably 8 years now, ever since I left Spain. But, you know, that's someone that I still miss often. And I wish that we could talk, and I wish we could still have a friendship, because he was like my best friend in Spain, and you know, his girlfriend was like amazing. She was so cool. We were all friends, and like we liked the same music, and we were all in like the music scene with our other friends. And I find it hard. I find it hard to, I don't know if it's like let go. I wouldn't say let go, because I've had to let go of so much stuff in my life, moving from country to country and city to city and leaving friends and people behind. But yeah, it is hard sometimes to let go of like friendships like that, like people that are really close to you. So that's a little bit of background on some of the things that I've experienced in life, and they've been a real inspiration for what's coming out in this book. That is like pretty much what it's based on, is on the relationship with this guy, the things that I've seen, and how the touring world works based on my experience with his band. But the whole point is like, it's written in a very, it's not like a rock star fantasy, because he was never like that massive, but he was big enough that it was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. It's also like, my point in writing it is not, obviously the romance between them is a huge part of the book. And it is the book, so to speak, but there's a lot of like deeper themes underneath it, that are driven by my other deeper experiences in life, such as like having to move a lot, trying to find home, figuring things out, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like a little bit, surface level of the vibe, and as well as some of the experiences that I've had. So yeah, moving on from that into mom mode, right? Like, can you even imagine? Here I sit, hand on the telephone, hearing a voice I'd known a couple of light years ago, and straight for a fall. 10 years ago, I bought you some cufflinks. You bought me something. We both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust. Yeah. Oh yeah, before I say that, how amazing were those jackets? I wanted one of them so bad. They're beautiful, but there's no way I would justify paying the price. It was like 300 or 320 pounds. It's crazy. Like, I literally think that is an insane, like, it was just a cotton jacket. So anyway, yeah, moving on to mom life. Okay, mom life has been not a struggle. I never want to say like a struggle in that way, like, oh my gosh, it's been a struggle, but like mom life has been really challenging, because yeah, like I said, it's not the tantrums, but it's just like at the moment everything is just no. So it's like, even when he wants something, he'll still say no. So I don't know if you've everyone must have encountered a phase like this, because I know it's a really common toddler thing, but Oh my gosh, it's been really difficult, because it's like obviously the kind of stuff that I do, that I've done until now to cope with like resistance for when I say he has to do something, has always been like, okay, well, we can do that later, but we're doing this now. Or like, okay, let's do this first and then we'll do that after, okay? And then like, you know, say I offer him like, okay, do you want to eat this toast? And he's like, no, I don't want the toast. Okay, it's like, okay, well, you can have toast or you can have cereal. What would you like? So like I give him the choice. Like there's all these like, you know, tools in my toolkit that I fall back on, and things I know how to say, and it's like literally nothing is working. It doesn't work to give him a choice. It doesn't work to acknowledge his feelings and then say, I understand, but we do have to like do this. Like, you know, this is another thing where like he wasn't struggling in his car seat. He went through a phase where he did. Then he hadn't been for like 5 or 6 months, and then now he is again. So he gets in the seat and he's constantly having like a fit is too strong a word, but he's like constantly annoyed about it, and he's like, I want to get out, like out, down, and it's like, oh my god, this is so stressful to be in the car with like when your toddler's just like pretty much shouting nonstop. There was one journey where no matter what I did or how I tried to calm him down, it was just like he just cried like pretty much the whole way there, like probably 10 minutes non-stop, no matter what we tried to do to calm him down and to help him and all that kind of stuff. So sorry about that. Yeah, there was someone at the door. It's my passport. My Spanish passport is back. I'm so excited. Yeah, like feels life-changing to have a passport again. I'm really excited because now I can like sort out all the paperwork for my toddler and to cope with this new phase as well as possible. For me personally, because every child is different, like what works for him is, in case this helps anyone and you're going through a phase where like your kid's like, no, like the other stuff that I mentioned earlier worked for a time, for like when he was in a phase like this previously, but this one is like a lot more intense. So now what I find works is like when he says something, which lately he's taken to saying it in a really whiny way sometimes, so he'll be like, no, juice, and it's like, so sometimes instead of like correcting him and being like, that's okay, you can ask normally, just say like, juice please, instead of saying that, which used to work before, and then he'd go like, juice please. Now I'm just like, you want juice? And then he's like, yeah, and he feels like more like heard immediately. This time around, like I'm saying, in the previous phase like this, I didn't need to do that, but this time I'm kind of like acknowledging it first, and then I like kind of like talk more than I need to, and it ends up almost distracting him, but not in a way where I'm distracting him about what's going on, just more in a way where like it helps him regulate. So I'm like, okay, you want juice? Okay, yeah, we can get some juice. Do you want to go and grab a cup so that you can help do it? Do you want to help? And then like that kind of thing seems to really work well, where like because I also don't just want to like do something that he asks for, because then it's also like, I want this, like, okay, let me go get it, because that obviously that's not good. So I found that kind of twisting the situation a little bit to make it so that like he helps do the thing, but he feels heard with what he wants, or sometimes I might give him a different task when he's in the middle of asking for something, so he's like, you know, I want this thing or whatever, and then I'll say like, okay, well, I'll get it for you. Do you think you could put that pillow up there so you can pick it up while I do this? That way we all help, like that kind of thing, and it kind of like helps a little bit. Yeah, it seems to work. So that's kind of like one of the few things that I've been doing that I found works. But like I said, all the other stuff from before, the giving choices, sometimes the acknowledging doesn't work, so he'll be like really upset, like, I don't want a bath, and it's like, okay, you don't want a bath, right? Yeah, I don't want a bath, and it's like, okay, I know, but we do have to wash because like you're really dirty here and here, because like say he was playing outside and he went in the mud, like in the dirt and stuff. It's like, yeah, so you see that, like it's dirty there, we want to wash that. And like sometimes that stuff works, like when he like notices and he's like, okay, yeah, okay, wash, he says, and like, yeah, wash, do you want to do it? Do you want to help do it? And like that seems to work. But there's times where he's just like, no, and he's having a tantrum about going in the bath. So like those are the bits where like I feel like I've tried all the coping stuff and none of it seems to work, and he's just having a meltdown no matter what I try. So those are the times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? So yeah, just in the joy of mom life. But yeah, like it's fine. Like to be honest with you, there's so many different phases that they go through that number one, I know that this is just another phase, but also like you learn so much. I always just see it as like, I know it's a phase, and you know, he's just learning. He's just trying to learn how to cope with the world around him. And yeah, it's not easy, because it's not easy for him because he doesn't understand, like he doesn't know how to explain himself as well as he'd like to. You know, toddlers can't do that at that age, and you can't reason with them because sometimes, you know, they don't really understand, you know, you're telling them why, but then like, okay, but no, I don't want to do that. So, you know, it's just a difficult time. They're learning a lot, they have a lot of emotions, and it's just, yeah, so I always try and keep that perspective, but sometimes that perspective isn't easy to keep when, for example, say you haven't slept, or he's been tantruming and, you know, battling all day, and then by the end of the day you're just like, oh my gosh, like I've had enough, like this is ridiculous, right? But you know, but you just always have to come back to that reminder of like, well, they're just trying to cope with the world around them, and as hard as it is our job to be there and help them through that and help them cope, and to keep ourselves regulated so that we can be a really good example for them, and yeah, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know like what, maybe like what you do, if you're maybe like if you're in the middle of a phase like that, or you've just gone through it and you're like, oh yeah, I learned that this and this thing works really well, or I learned that this made it worse. Like, yeah, let me know what you think, what you've gone through. And yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed the catch up. I hope you enjoyed the little browse and the country walk earlier, and I shall see you in the next video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really good weekend. I hope you're getting all the sleep that you need, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So lots of love, and